Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Great to have you here. Tyrone Johnson here, as always. Good morning, Tyrone. How you doing today, pal?
I'm doing all right.
Tough day for you, I know. It's always a tough day in Philadelphia.
No, it's not.
Very much unlike the TV show. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. It's usually raining in Philadelphia. It's usually cloudy in Philadelphia. Philadelphia's like the Seattle of the East Coast. And I love how you people turn your backs on, not you personally, because you're a loyal friend, as I know firsthand. But
I have proof.
I love how you people in Philadelphia immediately turn your back on a guy that you professed your love for the last 5 years.
That's right.
A.J. Brown's now a Patriot.
Yeah.
So I decided to check out what's going on in Philadelphia. And it's amazing how, when I say you people, I mean Eagle fans, obviously.
Yeah.
How you people have all of a sudden turned your back on the best wide receiver you've had since Harold Carmichael and Mike Quick. Maybe I'll give you Deshaun Jackson in there.
He was excellent.
As well, who's a very good wide receiver. It's fascinating to me that all you got to do is trade a guy away towards the end of his prime of his career, and next thing you know, it's like you never liked the guy. And then what's really interesting about the fact that the Eagles did trade A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots, and I'll get to the Rossini part of it later on this morning, because she's not getting any credit, and she deserves all the credit, no matter how she got the story.
Well,
she got the story. And at the end of the day, if your job is to get the story, she got the story.
Yeah.
Much like Gordon and Birdsey got the story using Deep Throat.
right.
She got the story the same way.
They used it. They used their own.
In any event, A.J. Brown. And so here's the story. Now, you might remember this. I think you were still on the radio when this happened. I was on the air at FS1.
I actually talked to you on the phone.
Did we?
Before my show.
Okay,
yes.
So I go on TV, national TV on Fox Sports 1, and I say that I know the problem in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
There was a falling out between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, and it involves a woman.
Yeah.
That's all I said. Then Adam Schefter goes on the radio on your former station, The Fanatic in Philadelphia, and they asked him directly about my report on national TV, and he poo-poos it.
Yeah.
Card doesn't know what he's talking about. There's no problems in that locker room. Well, wouldn't you be damned? There was a problem in the Eagle locker room between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. And yes, it involves a woman, but not exactly how these stories typically go.
Right.
Here's the story for you now. Hassan Reddick, former Eagle, he, of course, is the guy that knocked, what's his name?
Brock Purdy out.
Brock Purdy, thank you, out of that NFC Championship game on the first series and messed up his elbow.
That's right.
So Eagle fans love that guy. Got you to a Super Bowl that year, right? In any event. Hassan Reddick and A.J. Brown apparently both had the same side piece. That is a euphemism for a gumad, a euphemism for a girl on the side that is not your main girl, your fiance, or your wife. It's called a side piece.
Yeah.
And I believe she was a masseuse as well. So, unbeknownst to A.J. Brown at the time, I guess, Hassan Reddick's banging the same girl he's banging, but they're both banging the girl on the side, okay?
Right. Now, just to be clear, A.J. Brown, if this story is true,
seems like it's true,
was living with a girlfriend that is now his wife.
He just got married like a month ago, a couple weeks ago, right?
Yes, just a little while ago.
And she seems to have no problem, by the way, with any of this.
And Hassan Reddick at the time also had a serious girlfriend in addition to this person, if true.
Okay.
If true.
I think we can accept this fact.
If true.
So apparently A.J. Brown finds out about it, and he goes to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, according to the story that's now out in public that we're reading from, was too interested in football.
Yeah.
Didn't want to get involved in some dopey, nonsensical love triangle because it negatively impacts our attempt to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Somehow, A.J. Brown viewed Jalen Hurts as not being a good guy because he's concentrating on trying to win a Super Bowl and doesn't want to get involved or stick up for A.J. Brown and tell Hassan Reddick to stop banging A.J. Brown's side piece. What?
This is ridiculous.
You know how dysfunctional that is?
And this is why it's easy for me to turn my back on him if this story is true. Because, again, A.J. Brown is now a married man. He has children. I hope they're happy forever. I really believe that.
They have a great relationship, and she's happy and well taken care of. Sure, why not?
But in this scenario, Jalen Hurts is supposed to give a damn not about his best friend's main girl.
Correct.
But his best friend's side girl?
And allow it to distract him from football.
Now, come on.
Like, the one thing that's always been said about Jalen Hurts is that when football starts, it's only football.
Only.
Like, that guy's not out of... Look, you're allowed to go to clubs and have a good time.
But he does.
I want to make sure I'm not, like, demonizing, being a star, having money in your pocket, and living the type of lifestyle you and I would live if we were them. Right? So I'll be very clear about that. But it's well known about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is all about business. So if A.J. Brown comes and goes, man, Hassan Reddick's bagging my side piece. You got to help me out. Dude, I'm trying to play football. I want to win a Super Bowl. That's what I'm doing here. So that's the story in Philadelphia. And that's why, apparently, A.J. Brown had to go. And why A.J. Brown wanted to go. Now, A.J. Brown has done the unthinkable to Philadelphia sports fans despite winning a Super Bowl with the Eagles a couple years ago against the Kansas City Chiefs. He came out yesterday and said, even while he was an Eagle, he had a Patriots rug at home and always wanted to be a Patriot. And while he accomplished some great things in Philadelphia, the entire time he was thinking, I should be doing this in New England. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad his ass is gone. You know what? That's a punk-ass move, okay? That's a punk-ass move. Because when you left from Tennessee to the Eagles, it's, I get to play with my best friend. I'm so happy to be here. And all that time you were worried about the Patriots, that's a punk-ass move to say that out loud. Now, you can say in your press conference that you're happy to be with the Patriots.
I respect the Patriots. I saw them win a lot of games. Obviously, Tom Brady's a friend, and he's the GOAT, so a chance to play for that storied franchise. There's a lot of things you can say without pissing off the Eagle fan base.
On the way out.
But it shows you again that Philadelphia, this is a tough year for Philadelphia.
It's not that tough.
You guys have been bitch slapped all around town.
That's not true.
New Yorkers came to Philadelphia, took over your building during the Sixers series.
Yeah, that happened.
And now A.J. Brown is telling you, yeah, I may have done it for you, but I was cheating on you the whole time in my mind.
You know what, though?
I love it.
But
And how do you guys react? No offense to Philadelphia Eagle fans, who I was told a month ago, we're not the same as Sixers fans.
They're not the same.
I hate to say this.
They're not the same.
You just got pimp slapped by A.J. Brown.
No. I'll say this thing.
Pop.
Hey, A.J. Brown. No. Hey, A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
We still smashed. So that's the same thing you would say to one of those. We still hit. So, you were thinking about somebody else. Yeah. We still hit. Okay, it was still Philadelphia's collective penis in you. So it really doesn't matter that you were thinking about the Patriots, okay, the Patriots penis, because you was taking that Philadelphia poo everywhere. So I'm just sorry. Like, oh no, I didn't have my mind into it. Yeah, but your body was into it. And we owned it, we ravished it, and now leftovers go up to the Patriots.
Yeah, well, it's funny. The divorce is not clean, I can tell you that.
Go.
In Philadelphia. You guys have turned on A.J. Brown, boy.
That's right.
And I think in a very weird way, I think you're going to agree with this statement. Because I think, been the most supportive non-Eagle fan towards Jalen Hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly in the national media.
For sure.
And I think in the world.
For sure.
Because I've been a big Jalen Hurts guy. I love Jalen Hurts. Could be my quarterback any day of the week. And now, the fact that he didn't want to get involved in a stupid lovers squabble because the man wants to play football and win championships, I think endears himself even more. I think the fact that these interesting tidbits have now come out and they're accepted as fact, so we're going to treat them as fact for the purposes of this show.
Yeah.
I think there's a legion of Eagle fans that, for whatever the reason might be, were not big fans of Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Who are now big fans of Jalen Hurts. I think now as this story spreads that, look, guys banging other girls is not a new story.
Yeah.
But a quarterback saying, I ain't got time for it. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. You figure out your own mess. And if that's the causal reason why this friendship ended up in a divorce, I think both sides acknowledge, while there's no hatred for each other, they kind of went their separate ways. I think Jalen Hurts now becomes a rock star for those of you that did not like him in Philadelphia. More on this coming up. Philadelphia, always something. Always something with you weasels.
talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is all about headlines, Donnie. If we hear, if that noise gets louder as we get closer, then 45 cents is going to be 65 cents, and that's the repricing we're talking about. I don't need Utah to get them. I need people to think Utah is going to go up and get them, Donnie, and that's how you make money.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Now we have to endure months of manufactured rumors about will he or won't he retire LeBron James. They are probably, Donnie, working on the Decision 2.0 for Amazon Prime as we speak. Is Jim Gray still around? But here is the beauty of the predictive markets. They make insufferable stories about insufferable people highly profitable.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Put him in a little tub with Listerine.
Is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah.
The old school Listerine?
Listerine, yeah, like any color, green, blue, purple, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Listerine and baking soda. Bang. And it actually takes a lot of the impurities out of your feet. There's no joke.
Huh.
No joke. No joke.
So I looked this up. This is a real thing.
If you have smelly feet, if you just want to get some of the impurities out of your body, it's like an old Buddhist monk trick. Yeah, and I used to live with the monks in Sri Lanka, as many of you know. You know what I saw in Sri Lanka once? True story. I was sitting at a round table. My uncle took me there. He used to be in the clothing business. I needed to go there to buy silk to make not handkerchiefs, scarves for women.
Oh, right. I'll start working.
He had a clothing company called Ketzel and Fetzel, and they made scarves, silk scarves for women. And they went, you're laughing, it's a true story. So he goes to Sri Lanka. It's a different culture over there, Tyrone, as you may assume. So we're at a big round table, and they bring a little baby monkey out.
A baby monkey?
A baby monkey, alive. And they put the monkey, there's a hole in the middle of the table, and they put the monkey in the hole, and then the table closes right around the monkey's neck. And then they beat the monkey to death with wooden mallets. And then they carve open the top of the monkey's head, and you eat the monkey brain. It's a delicacy.
I thought that's from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
No, it's from Sri Lanka and Ketzel and Fetzel Scarf Company. Yeah, now they're not obviously responsible for what took place there, but those were the people that sold them the silk, I guess, to make the scarves that women in New York City like to buy, Ketzel and Fetzel.
I'd rather have rayon.
You beat the monkey. You beat the monkey, which I found disturbing, of course. And then they slice the monkey's head open, and then it's a delicacy.
Did you have a taste?
To eat monkey brain.
Did you have any?
No, I was eating chicken. But that's just me. Yeah. And they look down upon you if you don't partake, because it's like a delicacy there to eat fresh monkey brain. I, of course, am my own man, Tyrone, as you know.
Yeah.
There are certain things I will not participate in. Animal cruelty is one of them. And then eating these somewhat still alive brains of a beaten monkey, and I'm not into that. But there's bad people in Sri Lanka. I would never go there.
Apparently. Now, I'm looking up this Listerine thing just to put wrap that up.
You guys challenge me on everything I tell you. I don't make stuff up. put your feet in Listerine, and your feet will smell great, and all the impurities will come out of it.
Allegedly, you can do that, but that's not the thing.
You can also wrap your feet in bananas and saran wrap.
Not what's recommended.
Yeah.
What they say is you take you use the yellow Listerine.
Okay, Listerine's Listerine.
White vinegar.
Okay.
And warm water. That's it. No baking soda.
Okay, that's fine. So it's a different version of it.
Okay,
So I do it that way.
It's supposed to exfoliate dead skin.
Yeah.
Soften calluses.
There you go.
And soothe foot fungus.
Bang! All the things Ethan has. Foot funguses, calluses, and smelly toes. In any event, A.J. Brown is now a Patriot.
Yeah.
And while Philadelphia's going to have a field day with that for a while, because they're going to turn their backs on your best wide receiver in the last 20 years in Philadelphia. No disrespect to Devontae Smith. And your wide receiving core is now very young.
Yeah, Devontae's been underutilized, so he'll obviously become the number one.
Right?
Yeah. And they just drafted wide receiver in the first round.
But there's a part of this story that I think is being left out. I did it on radio yesterday. I feel like I have a responsibility to this audience to do it here.
Okay.
I think Deanna Rossini should get credit for the story.
Why?
And I think Deanna Rossini should have come out of the woodwork yesterday, out of mothballs yesterday, and put out her first tweet in 4 months. And it should have been a very simple tweet, and that is, as I first reported, the New England Patriots have acquired the rights to A.J. Brown, and whatever the deal was, a 2028 first-round pick, a fifth-round next year, and just do it. And then it goes back to what I said during the Rossini stuff. Number one, it's her story. No one's going to dispute that. Nobody had A.J. Brown going to the Patriots other than Deanna Rossini. We know how she got it, but she got it. If you remember back in the day, the best Adam Schefter had was that he was going to the Rams. Right. That was his report, and Rossini beat him on that.
Now, and the Rams, for the record, though, did make an offer.
Before the draft.
Right, and the Eagles said no because of the cap situation.
Right. So here's the other thing that somebody in the media has to acknowledge, and I guess I'll be that huckleberry, because most of those guys don't like me anyway, because I only tell the truth on this show, as you know. All I heard during the Rossini stuff with Mike Vrabel was how much all these insiders respect one another, how they look out for each other, how they're colleagues, and how, while they are in competition to beat each other, to breaking stories, there's nothing but a mutual amount of respect between Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Diana Rossini, Jordan Schultz, name your favorite
Josita Anderson,
Peter Schrager, all these people, men and women, that do a really good job bringing us the news of the NFL. And it was interesting to me yesterday that not one of them could help themselves. They all took credit for the breaking story. I'm first, my sources tell me, NFL sources tell me, Patriot sources tell me, Eagle sources tell me. And I'm sitting there as an independent observer with no dog in the fight, saying to myself, you guys all got beaten to this story by Diana Rossini. And I don't think that's really up for debate. We can mock how she got the story. We know what her source was. We know how she got the story. But at the end of the day, she got it. All right, now she lost her job over it, but it's her story.
What is wrong with you?
Okay, and here's what bothers me.
What is wrong with you?
This notion that they all like each other and look out for each other and respect each other.
They do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they
don't.
do.
Here's why.
They draw a line.
They had a chance yesterday to gather together in a unified pact and collectively say, as first reported by Diana Rossini of The Athletic,
that's disgusting.
A.J. Brown has been traded to the New England Patriots.
No.
Period. Stop.
No.
As you said, full stop.
No, it's a comma.
So shame on you.
It's a comma.
Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, and all the other ones. All of you that came out yesterday and said, sources tell ESPN, sources tell the NFL Network, sources tell me, sources tell me, sources tell me. None of you had a source on this one. None of you had any idea that A.J. Brown was going to the Patriots until Diana Rossini suggested it.
Why don't they have a source? They didn't have the source because they weren't sleeping with them. This is ridiculous.
No.
You're suggesting that they should be on board with this.
No, I'm not.
You are.
I'm suggesting that they've probably done some things in their lives to get stories that we wouldn't want to know about either. So I'm not questioning how she got the story. I know how. It's why she lost her job. but you're a bunch of animals who eat their own. Not to give Diana Rossini the credit she truly deserves. Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day, here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all 4.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Great to have you here. Tyron and I were just arguing off air about I think you're missing the point. I'm not applauding how she got the story. I'm just applauding the fact that it was clearly her story is all I'm saying now.
But you can't.
I am. Because they're a bunch of animals.
How she got
they
it
don't
matters.
give a rat's ass about her. And they had nothing to say about it either.
What if they thought she just went over a line?
Meanwhile, I got more for you on the A.J. Brown scandal.
Okay.
Hang on one second here. It's actually very interesting. So here's apparently the latest to come out.
Yeah.
This is why A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts no longer have a friendship, okay?
Well, as close.
Okay. A.J. Brown allegedly got caught cheating on Kelsey, his now wife, before the first Super Bowl. Okay. Kelsey confided in Bri Hurts, Jalen's wife. Okay.
That's not crazy.
No, that's what... If you and I had issues, you and I would talk to each other.
Yeah.
Our wives would talk to each other.
That's not crazy.
Can you believe what he did again? Not gonna, right? Okay, here we go. Kelsey Brown, confided in Jalen Hurts' wife that she caught A.J. Brown cheating on her. Okay? Bri told Kelsey Brown not to tolerate that and to leave his ass.
Okay. That's a very common thing a person would say. That's not crazy.
AJ found out that Jalen's girl told his girl, you should leave his cheating ass, went off on Jalen's now wife, all right, and told her, stay the bleep out of my business.
Okay.
AJ's wife now does not get along with Bri. So the women no longer get along, and by proxy, the husbands had to pick sides, and you're always going to pick your wife over anybody else.
Yeah.
Because she's your wife.
Right, but...
That's the entire genesis of why their relationship soured and why A.J. Brown, I don't know that he forced his way out, but made it clear he wanted to get out of Philadelphia.
Now think about this,
so
though.
there you go.
What exactly in that thing you laid out did Jalen Hurts do wrong?
Nothing at all.
See, this is the problem. Jalen Hurts, again, in this scenario you
I
laid
love
out,
Jalen Hurts.
But I'm saying he's minding his own business. In this scenario, the women are talking amongst themselves.
Which is what they do.
I'm minding my own business, going to work every day. I work with you, but I didn't have anything to do with this.
And by the way, if you get open, I'm going to throw you the football.
Right. Now, and because of something that my wife said, when you have to admit, you have to at least admit you did something wrong. Now, a lot of people do it, but I mean, if you're cheating on your fiance, they live together. It's wrong. I'm saying we feel comfortable saying that that's the wrong thing to do. So now it's Jalen Hurts' fault. That's why A.J. Brown, it speaks to his character. I'm not talking about the cheating part.
Yeah.
Because that happens all over the place.
That he would lose a friendship over something that Jalen Hurts had nothing to do with.
That's the character I'm talking about.
Look, I'm with you on that. It's there's a separation between men and women, how we handle things. I have full expectation that women talk about us behind our backs all the time.
Yeah.
I think it comes with a vagina. I think it's in their DNA. It's like we always say, two men can go play a round of golf for 5 hours and not know a damn thing about each other. Two women can sit at the nail salon for 25 minutes and know each other's life stories. And I think that's normal in every household in America. I don't care if you're black, white, Jewish, Christian, Muslim. That's real. Mm-hmm. That's how men are versus how women are, right?
Right.
But it's amazing to me. Like, if you came to me and it's like, man, you got to tell your wife, like, the conversation stops right there.
Right.
Much like if I said to you, you better tell that woman of yours, conversation stops right there. But when you and I are at our jobs, like, the fact that A.J. Brown would let something that's got nothing at all to do with Jalen Hurts affect their relationship to the point where you are now walking away. I know you got traded, but you forced it to happen.
Right.
On your own volition.
They didn't want to trade him.
From a situation where you're guaranteed, I think, making the playoffs. And right now, again, if we said there are 5 teams in the NFL that we would all agree have a legitimate shot today to consider themselves Super Bowl contenders, the Eagles are in that conversation in every city in America. And the fact that you're willing to walk away from that, I know Mike Vrabel's your guy. I get that. I know Drake May's a good up-and-coming young quarterback. I get that. But the New England Patriots, I think, are a 6-win team this year.
Even with him.
It's A.J. Brown and Booty. Those are your 2 wide receivers. That's a very good tandem.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not. I don't think the Patriots are going to be a very good team.
And we'll see if they can block. They could not block in the playoffs. They couldn't block.
I think the Bills are still going to win that division.
I agree.
I think the Jets will be a little bit better.
I agree.
I think the Dolphins are going to suck.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be shocked if the Patriots are a 9-8 team.
Okay.
But I think they're a 6-win team talent-wise, right? Philadelphia is a lock to win double-digit games.
Every year.
Whether it's 10, 11, 12, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
The Eagles are going to the postseason, barring a significant injury to Jalen Hurts, right? And the fact that you recognize how hard it is to do what you've already done, win a Super Bowl, go to 2 Super Bowls, right? And you're a part of a team in Tennessee with an average quarterback that actually got some playoff run. And you're turning your back on that, and it's not about money. It's because the quarterback didn't have your side in a side piece squabble? Come on, man. while the Eagles were getting rid of A.J. Brown, the Giants yesterday brought 4 old wide receivers in for a workout and signed 3 of them.
Yeah.
Excuse me? So Odell Beckham Jr., who in the last 3 years combined has had 45 catches and missed all of 2022 completely. He's one of them. Juju Smith-Schuster, who never really looked all that great outside of a year and a half maybe in Pittsburgh. I was a big disappointment in Kansas City, if you ask Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
He's one. And then Alex Earl's former boyfriend, who's really a punt return, kick return specialist.
Yeah.
Braxton Berrios. The Giants guy, what's his name again? Oshinsky, he was supposed to be their punt and kick returner. He tore his Achilles. So the Berrios one, actually, I get. He doesn't fumble the ball at all, and he'll average 7 to 10 yards a return, which is not great, but, he's good. He's fine. He's competent, right? But I'm looking at it going, you guys keep telling me that the Giants are going to win 10 games this year, or right around 10 games. So I'm going to give you some grace and say 9 to 11. That gives you a chance to win 10. All right? And I'm looking at the team going, I think your running game is average at best with Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't think it's a great running attack. It's good.
Yeah,
it's average.
It's definitely not good.
All right. I look at your wide receivers. It's very clear after seeing Malik Neighbors limp to first base in the Brian Burns charity softball game that he's not going to be ready for September 1, maybe October 1, fingers crossed, if you're lucky. So I'm looking at the wide receiving core now, and I'm saying to myself, Wan'Dale Robinson ain't there anymore. He went to Tennessee. You guys hate Hyatt, right? So who's your wide receiving core? 3 dudes in their mid to late 30s.
They're all younger than you realize.
Well, Juju's 29. Odell's 33.
And Berrios is 30.
And Berrios is 30, right?
30, yeah.
All right, so I exaggerated by a couple years. I'm allowed to. I'm 40. In any event.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 guys who we know their names.
Right.
But again, have not been productive.
No.
You have no defensive backs on that squad that you can name right now. Your defensive line lost Dexter Lawrence, who's been your best rusher and defensive lineman for the last 4 or 5 years. And I know you got Arvell Reese, who should be a rock star.
He'll be great.
And obviously you expect a lot more now out of the Trump-hating Abdul Carter. All right, he has to now step up in year 2.
Yeah.
And you've got a second-year quarterback that played, 10 games last year. And is acting like he's Joe Namath, but hasn't played like Joe Namath yet.
You're right about that. But you do skip over, and I think, a very good offensive line.
Yes, and
I do think they're going to have a very good offensive
to it.
Right.
So I think
he's going to be a stud.
Okay.
I do. I think he's going to be a stud.
I will give you that their offensive line should be good.
I think it's going to be a good offensive
Andrew
line.
Thomas is still there. He would get his contract, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Strong offensive line, which helps everybody.
Like, your weapons aren't very good.
No.
Your defense on paper is not going to be a top 10 defense. John Harbaugh, who I thought underperformed more than overperformed in Baltimore, is going into his first year now as the head coach. And I'm trying to figure out now why you people have weed that you don't share with me. Because I wished I lived in such a fantasy land where you can have the New York Giants winning double-digit games. Like, they were a 5-win team last year. And it's not just Ethan. It's every Giant fan I know and take calls from on the radio in the afternoon have convinced themselves that just because John Harbaugh is there, you're winning double-digit games. And I'm trying to figure out, like I said to my radio partner the other day, who's a diehard Giant fan, let's be honest now. What grade do you give the Giants offseason? And I'm not saying just one aspect, in totality. Right, so you have the draft. I think Arvell Reese is a great pick.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I think overall the draft was good.
Okay.
I do.
Your owner, who's gallivanting around the world with Jeffrey Epstein,
that's not great.
Was at the draft this year.
Yeah, that's not great.
Okay, they made him sell the team to his kids, but he was at the draft. So he's still the president of the New York Giants, and I think chairman of the board. So you've got the Epstein stuff. You wanted to get rid of Joe Shane, but you gave him a multi-year extension, despite the fact he's got no power there as your general manager, right? And I can go on and on and on. You have this issue now with Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter over politics. Right? Dexter Lawrence is no longer a Giant. Like, what grade do you give the Giants offseason?
B minus.
B minus?
Give it a B minus.
B minus.
And here's why.
B minus.
B minus.
The letter starts with a C. Now, you could decide whether it's a minus, a nothing, or a plus.
Okay.
But don't think for a minute that this Giants offseason is anything other than a C.
I give it a C+ because
I'll tolerate that.
I think they made a tremendous upgrade at head coach because I think the last head coach was an idiot. I'm going to just say it out loud.
Okay.
I think they made a tremendous
one playoff
upgrade
win
there.
in 4 years.
Yeah,
okay.
I think he was overmatched. Okay, got lucky picking a quarterback, maybe. I do say that it could end up being worse if Jackson Dart isn't real.
If Jackson Dart stinks, the Giants are 3 wins.
And this is what I'll say. I'm not talking about the politics part of it. What I'm talking about is there's something to be said for a guy that stays out of the way in the offseason.
Jalen Hurts,
for example.
Yes.
But also, what if Patrick Mahomes been rehabbing injury? You saw him at minicamp. You don't see Patrick Mahomes, Brady when he was in his 20s, not later Brady when he already had a bunch of rings. Peyton Manning, they don't go. You don't see them. They go out there, they do their business, they go win. And the fact that he hasn't, to me, not the politics part of it, it speaks to immaturity. He is not ready to lead a team yet.
No,
he's
look,
not mature enough to lead a team.
He's acting like a star, he just hasn't played like one yet.
Right.
And that's why I said at some point it's got to be football and football only.
Right.
So it's just interesting to me, that's all, that the New York Giant fan base now, and I saw the headlines even in the New York Post today, like Giant fans are so tickled pink that they got Odell Beckham Jr. There was no bigger fan of Odell's than mine. All right? Mm-hmm. I love Odell Beckham Jr. Mm-hmm. But if you think you're getting the 2015 Odell Beckham Jr., I've got a bridge to sell you. Like, again, in the last 3 years combined, Odell Beckham has caught 45 passes. That's combined. Now, he didn't play in 2022. Played for multiple teams, obviously, before that in 21.
And not particularly
Browns and Rams.
Yeah, not particularly.
And all everybody wants to talk about is, that first half in the Super Bowl.
He was killing it.
He was on his way to be MVP.
He was.
And then what always happens, Tim, happened to him.
He got hurt.
Yeah. And that sucked because he was having a great 30 minutes of football in that Super Bowl that they won. But Odell Beckham went to Baltimore, was nothing. Odell Beckham went to Miami, was nothing in an offensive-minded head coach's scheme, right? Mm-hmm. Odell Beckham was in Cleveland before he went to the Rams. Odell Beckham now is a name only. And I want to be clear. I love Odell Beckham. He's also the dumbest roulette player I've ever seen play roulette in my lifetime. So I'm in the Dominican Republic. Uh-huh. And I'm playing blackjack, while I still had my problem.
Man, you've lived. Yeah, you've lived a life.
Yeah. And I'm in a private room playing blackjack by myself. And I come out of that room at about 4 o'clock in the morning, right around the time. There's a big nightclub there that's letting out. Mm-hmm. As I come out of my private room to play blackjack in, I see two Jersey meatballs. And they're like, yo, Carton! Oh, my God! Carton's here in the Dominican? Come on over, say hi.
New York meatballs.
Two meatheads, right?
Not Jersey, yeah.
Two Jersey Shore meatheads.
New York.
Like Jim Tan Laundry. Yeah,
Sounds Staten Island a bit.
That is Staten
Staten Island a little bit.
Yeah. So these two Staten Island meatheads are like, yo, Carton, big fans, Carton, come over here. Yeah. So they're saying that they're bodyguards for Odell Beckham.
Okay.
Odell Beckham is minding his business to his credit. There's not even any girls around him.
He's just sitting at the roulette table.
He just got out of the club. He's at the roulette table.
All right.
And he'd been on my show a few times, so we're not friends. But he knew who I was. Obviously, I knew who he is, right? Yo, Carton, you got to say hi to Odell. OBJ, that's the man right there, Carton. He's like, yeah, we've met. We've been on each show, blah, blah, blah. I go, how's it going tonight? Because I had taken a beating that night playing blackjack. And he goes, I never lose. I go, I've heard this story before. Walk me through your roulette strategy. Because people have strategies with roulette.
Yeah.
Never lose. And he goes, I put $100 on red. I put $100 on black. I'm just here to watch the guy spin the wheel. And either way, I'm even. And I go, I don't want to be that guy, OBJ. But you see that big green zero?
Yeah.
At the top of the board right there? Once out of every, 25 or 30 or so spins, that little ball, that little pelota, is going to land on green.
And you lose them both.
And you lose them both.
Right.
He goes, man, I've never seen it land on green as long as I've been sitting there. He goes, I've never lost.
Well, you never won either. You never won.
He goes, but I've never lost. 4 o'clock in the morning in the Dominican Republic. That's the last time I saw Odell Beckham Jr. in person. Yo, Carton. After this.
Well, the talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
That's for Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is all about headlines, Donnie.
Yep.
If we hear, if that noise gets louder as we get closer, then 45 cents is going to be 65 cents, and that's the repricing we're talking about. I don't need Utah to get him. I need people to think Utah is going to go up and get him, Donnie, and that's how you make money.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Now we have to endure months of manufactured rumors about will he or won't he retire LeBron James. They are probably, Donnie, working on the Decision 2.0 for Amazon Prime as we speak. Is Jim Gray still around? But here is the beauty of the predictive markets. They make insufferable stories about insufferable people highly profitable.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Mitchell Robinson did a personal workout the last couple days with the New York Knicks. So obviously he's dribbling a basketball, probably taking some free throws, working on his game.
No, he's not.
But there's still
working on his game.
Working on his game. Working on his game. 100 free throws a day. That's right.
He probably made 20 of them.
Maybe.
Shot 100.
By the way, maybe not. Little Rick Barry style. Working on his game. So, he broke his pinky. He is going to speak today. There's a media gathering out in San Antonio for both teams today. So all the pleiers get a chance to speak. He's going to be asked about how he broke his pinky. He's not going to tell you how he broke it. So he either broke it doing a leisurely activity that we've all done, or he broke it punching a wall. Now, that injury is actually known as the boxer's fracture. And it's known as a boxer's fracture because if you make a fist and you punch something with no give in it and you're not wearing a glove, it's the most common injury you suffer.
Makes sense. Smallest bone.
And it's down here. So it's not the tip of the pinky or even the middle. It's underneath the last knuckle you got, and it comes down about halfway down your palm.
Yeah, and he has a couple of screws in there now.
Yeah, so it basically connects your pinky to your wrist. Yeah. Okay, there's one big long bone in here, and then you have 3 bones in your finger. And the metacarpal is this bottom part right here. Yeah. If I can show you on camera. So the break is most likely somewhere closer to the pinky than to the wrist. They put a screw or 2 in. It's not a major surgery, but it's very painful.
They say it's very painful. And
unless, of course, you have a penis and balls between your legs and you're a professional athlete and you're a man. Mitchell Robinson is playing in the NBA Finals.
No, he's not.
But let's play this fantasy land of Tyrone's.
It's not a fantasy.
Where he's not going to play.
He's in pain, and he might not be able.
Toradol.
Yeah, but you're only allowed to do one. They don't do more than one anymore.
You use as many as you want.
No, they don't
I got
anymore.
a guy.
No, they don't.
I got a guy.
No, so either.
And you got a guy, too.
No, I know. No. I actually have a guy that would do it once.
Yeah.
So you either do it before the game or you suck it up and you do it at halftime.
And then you put Tiger Bomb on it. And
you don't. Tiger Bomb.
And you're good.
That thing's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt him.
By the way, he's a man. We play through pain, Tyrone. It's what we do. You would do it. I would do it. Not so much Ethan. Yeah. But as men, it's what we do. Okay. I'm telling you it's a fact. Mitchell Robinson's playing in the NBA Finals, okay? Now, here's the reality. And it's a reality that no one's talking about because nobody understands basketball, Knick basketball, the way I do.
Okay.
Sorry, not sorry. God bestowed upon me very few gifts. That's one of them. I just understand basketball
Knicks
more
basketball.
than most, okay? And when it comes to Knick basketball, I'm Einstein, all right? Misunderstood for sure, but ahead of the game, all right?
So
here's the reality you're not ready for.
What this is going to happen, you're talking about game 1 tomorrow night, or you talking about
I'm going to tell you the entire series right now.
the whole series?
When it comes to Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson.
Okay? Mitchell Robinson is playing in the NBA Finals.
Game 1.
He's playing in the NBA Finals.
Right, not game
Do
1.
not think for a minute he's not playing.
Not game 1.
And he'll be on the court outside of a 30-point blowout, which is possible because we're that good. You'll see him tomorrow night as well. That being said, here's the deal. And you're not ready for this, but I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to give it to you hard. The way you like it, America. They don't need him.
What?
The New York Knicks have a luxury in Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson has only averaged about 17 minutes a game in this postseason run.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't need him.
Because he doesn't play the fourth
We
quarters.
like to have him for sure. Are the Knicks better with him off the bench? 100% they are.
Especially against Wemby.
Is he a dominant rebounder? Yes, he is. Does he run the pick and roll as good as any big man in the sport? You bet your ass he does.
Alley-oops.
And he's not a great offensive player.
But alley-oops
the pick
rolling.
and roll alley-oop, you can make the argument the Knick pick and roll alley-oop is the best in basketball. Period. Stop. That being said, Mitchell Robinson is a luxury. The New York Knicks can beat the Spurs without Mitchell Robinson. Now you've heard it. Now you can digest it. Now you can own it like it's yours. And I guarantee you by 4 o'clock this afternoon, it's going to be all over Twitter. Here's how the Knicks win if Mitchell can't go. That being said, he's a man, and he's going to go.
Whoa.
But if he doesn't go, doesn't change the odds one bit.
This is, oh my God. You know what? You got to stop.
Not
okay?
one bit.
Helen Hedge over here. You didn't say anything. You said all that. You said nothing. You said nothing.
I just told you. He's going to play.
Hedge over here.
And if he doesn't play, it's a luxury
Stop
anyway.
hedging.
Yeah.
Is he playing game 1?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
And game 2 and 3 and 4.
Okay.
And if there's a necessary game 5, that one too.
Okay. And game 6 or 7.
If those are necessary, I don't see them being necessary.
Oh, you think you're
But
getting
if they
swept?
are unnecessary,
That's
even
messed up. So,
then yes.
So you're not hedging on the
Yeah.
Knicks getting swept.
Knicks are not getting swept.
Well,
It's far more likely the Knicks sweep the Spurs than the Spurs sweep the Knicks. Knicks
anyway.
have too much talent. They're too deep. They're too athletic.
So why are
and
you
they're too
hedging?
good defensively.
Why
you know
are you
all
hedging?
this.
Why are you hedging?
And what did I hedge?
You're hedging.
He's playing. But if he doesn't,
Helen Hedge. Helen Hedge right there. You can't be hedging over here.
Not a hedge at all.
You are hedging.
I need to have the conversation with you because if he doesn't play,
Wait a
we
minute.
need to have
You
discussed
just
it.
said he was playing.
He is playing.
He's not playing.
He's playing.
I'll say it.
But if he doesn't play,
I'll say it.
luxury.
I'll say it. I believe he plays at some point in the series. I think he plays his first game in New York. I do not think he plays for
What's
the
an
Spurs
extra
at all.
5 days do for a guy with a repaired pinky?
Well, first of all, there's swelling in that area.
He's fine.
There's swelling in
Yeah,
that
the
area.
best hand doctor
that
in
will-
America, dude. No swelling.
What are
She
you
took
talking
all the
about?
swelling out.
He has swelling in the
There's
hand.
no swelling. She took it out.
There's swelling in the hand.
She gave him Tiger Balm.
Okay. He has swelling
And
in the
icy
hand.
hot.
Okay. Also, he has to be able to catch a basketball for that pick and roll stuff to work.
What's his left hand for?
What do you mean? He's right-handed.
He's got mitts the size of Montana.
None of that works.
Whack.
And
Yeah.
also, with Cats
I'll do you
pinching
one better.
for the stupid foul,
Yeah.
there is no path to beating the Knicks, to beating the Spurs without him. You need him.
OG Anunoby's going to cover Wemby.
He will at times, but that doesn't mean Cat won't go get stupid fouls on somebody else.
That's true.
You're going
By the
to
way,
need size.
That's true. That's
You
fine.
can't win without him.
Don't forget, Mitch Robinson's left hand's like a suction cup. Just like that.
No,
the
it's
ball
not.
hits at 6.
No,
just
it's
like
not.
that. Flick. Just like
No, it's
that.
not. I
Yeah.
think what's
So it's
more
like you're
likely?
climbing the wall with suction cups on.
What's
Yeah.
more likely? Him breaking his other hand out of anger?
Yeah.
Or him scoring 10
By the way,
points in
I'll
the
tell
game?
you this real quick. Wait, 5 seconds real quick? Oh, 30?
Yeah.
Real quick. We're going to find out at some point how he broke the pinky part of his hand.
Yeah.
If the Knicks win the championship, it's not going to matter. We'll laugh about it. It'll become a part of New York lore, right? Like Ronnie Lott cutting off the tip of his finger not to come out of a playoff game, right?
Which was dumb.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's the deal, though. If the Knicks don't beat the Spurs, and we can look back and go, man, not having 100% Mitch Robinson's the causal reason that we didn't beat the Spurs, then the longest tenured Knick might have played his last game as a Knick. Because if we find out he broke his hand punching a wall, it's bye time. way out of Cleveland and winds up going to the Rams. I guess a lot of people saw that coming. Jordan Schultz had it, in advance. Give him credit. I think he's the first one that reported it. Formerly Fox, now on his own, does a good job there. Obviously, you see Schefter, but, they all kind of, I guess, take it from each other. Yeah. My sources, your sources, doesn't matter. You could make an argument the Cleveland Browns got the better of the deal. Because Verse is a damn good player, and they got a bunch of draft picks, and they shed the salary, that they agreed to for Myles Garrett. The downside, of course, is, the Browns are not a win-now mode team. They're a win 5 years from now type of team because they still haven't figured out their quarterback situation.
Right.
First-year head coach in Monken, obviously. And you had the best defensive player, I think we all agree, in the sport.
One of the 5 best
now,
ever.
how many years left does he have at, 15 sacks, 18 sacks, whatever it is a year? Probably 2 or 3.
Right, but he definitely has one this year.
Yes.
That makes the Rams very scary.
So what I thought the more interesting part of the story is not that they traded him because it helps them cap-wise and money-wise. And let's be honest, if they're a 5 or 6 win team again, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because as much as he did stay for the money, he wants a chance to win at some point, and they've had a dominant defense that has never won a damn thing.
Yeah, and also the reason he's with the Rams and not the Eagles did try to make the offer with one of their young edge rushers. The Browns countered with Jalen Carter. The Eagles said no. That leads to him being with the Rams.
Which, by the way, I don't blame the Browns on that. I would have asked for Carter also.
Yeah.
Right, replace the guy I'm getting rid of. That being said, I think the more interesting storyline that came out yesterday that I hope happens, because it'd be fascinating to see it, is that Aaron Donald's coming out of retirement to rejoin the Rams and be on that defensive line. Maybe it's only on third downs. I'm not even sure if they've considered it, but he's been working out. His workout videos are legendary.
They're crazy.
So he's still in great shape. And he put out, I'm paraphrasing it now, something to the effect of not done yet. Now, I'm not sure if that means he wants to bench 500 pounds or if that means I think I got another year in me.
Sat out 2 seasons. He's going to come back after 2 years.
I hope he comes back.
It's more fun if he comes back. It would be bad for him. I believe he'll immediately get injured.
And someone has to explain to me, whether Aaron Donald comes back or not, how the Rams, who have had 3 first-round draft picks in the last 10 years, all right, they took Ty Simpson this year. They jumped into the first round to get him.
Part of the reason why this trade happened is because they feel like they have the
quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
They've only made 3 first-round picks in the last 10 years. They don't value first-round picks at all. And yet somehow, some way, they've got a top 5 highest-paid quarterback. They, at the time, made Cooper Kupp the highest-paid wide receiver in football. Obviously, he's no longer there. They're preparing to make a big offer to Puka if he stays out of trouble, obviously, off the field. They bring in Myles Garrett's contract. They have figured out the secret sauce of how to put a team together without relying on rookie contracts in a manner no other team, including the Eagles.
Yeah.
The Eagles are the best with draft picks, I think. Yeah. The Rams are the best without draft picks. And somehow, some way, they've put together a team that is good enough right now to be in the conversation to win a damn Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're the favorites
and
right now.
And they don't have first-round draft picks.
Yeah,
so
they're the favorites to do it.
Kudos to the Rams. Now, before
they don't draft first-round draft picks. Obviously, they have Garrett. They have Stafford was the first pick. They acquire players that were.
Now, the Stafford one was Goff. Goff was the first-round draft pick.
And he was. And
so
Stafford was. Yeah, so they found a lot of ways to get talent. Eventually, that may catch up to them cap-wise. But for this year, they're now the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl.
I got 2 minutes left here. Is that right? Yeah, 2 minutes. All right, so mystery question of life for you.
Yeah.
Big argument in the Carton household. I asked my kids to tell me an oxymoron.
Okay.
Of course, the first one they all say is jumbo shrimp.
There you go.
And then my son Lucky comes downstairs and says, "What are we doing?" And I go, "I don't think Anthony can name an oxymoron." And Anthony goes, "Jumbo shrimp." My son said, Lucky says, "That's not an oxymoron." No, I grew up my entire life that jumbo shrimp is an oxymoron. And he says, the jumbo in that case is merely describing that shrimp as compared to other shrimps.
No, that's true.
So by definition, it's not an oxymoron. It's merely describing that shrimp against other shrimps.
I mean, it's geeky, but true.
And we had a half-hour-long argument as to whether or not the term jumbo shrimp is an oxymoron or not an oxymoron. And I left the argument thinking that maybe my son is right.
He is right.
That after 40 years of thinking jumbo shrimp was an oxymoron, that it's not an oxymoron at all. It's merely a description of one shrimp that's just bigger than all the other shrimps.
Yeah.
And not an oxymoron at all.
I go with
Mind blown is right.
It's good.
So are you guys going with it is still an oxymoron? Or are you going with Lucky is right, it's not an oxymoron? Please respond. We'll put this out on Twitter. I need to get to the bottom of it.
Of course it's an oxymoron. Shrimp are still small, even the biggest one. But that's not the top oxymoron anyway.
What do you think is?
Internal bleeding.
Internal bleeding.
If it's internal, it's not bleeding.
Huh. And what was yours? Deafening silence. That's a good one. I tell you one that's not. Well, I ran out of time.